Okay, I'm live again. Sean from Billy Goat Wargaming. Today, painting some Chindits or 14th Army. This is a little test base I've just done. The idea is to paint these really quickly, so I'm not, as ever, not sweating the detail. I'll just very quickly show you the whole army. There they are. Excuse the mess on this table. Right state. We ought to get it tidied up, but I won't be doing that. So I'm going to try and paint like this today. Hopefully you can see it a bit more. But so basically there's 1, 2, 3 colours and a wash on top of I think it's called Death Guard Green. It's the Colour Forge spray paint. I'm also using a new microphone today. I have no idea if that's going to work or not. But Army Painter Fanatic Paints Leather Brown. So as you can see on this Brengun team, just painting all the equipment and skin and the hat in brown. So this is a platoon for PBI, Peter Biggs World War II game. And then we've got, this isn't the definitive organisation, but I'm going to try and break the painting down because I painted some ancient Germans and I did them all at once and it took forever and I lost the motivation. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rifle bases. We've got 2 MG teams. Actually got a flamethrower team there and the platoon commander. So I'm just getting the brown bits onto the figure initially. And as I will, actually there's one more colour, is black for the boot. As I will say constantly about how I paint these days, I'm not painting to display, I am painting to play. And because everything gets a wash, I think in this case I'm using Army Painter Soft Tone, then it tends to hide many faults. And because we're talking about World War II figures here, who are, by very nature of the combat that they're involved in, can be grimy and messy. I do think we see far too many figures painted in absolute parade ground, for me, in parade ground order, and not like they've been out in the field for very long. By pre-basing these figures, I do hamper myself a tad. It means getting to certain areas can be problematic, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Hope everyone's well. I did notice that somebody on Twitter, I forget who you were, I picked up on the fact that I'd done that first stream a few days ago. Well, since that first stream, I've now had my operation. I am in some discomfort at the moment, but listen, it's a knee operation. It's a mechanical fix. It's nothing serious. So that's the last time I'll mention it. Why am I painting 14th Army? I can see somebody's joined me in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't actually read chat because I'm on the phone, but thank you. The only reason I'm doing this live is because I don't particularly enjoy editing. I may do some editing and try and learn whilst I'm off work or in between jobs, let's say. That's more the point. I'm not exactly off work. I'm out of work. I'm unemployed. I'm an unemployed pensioner. As I sit here, I do have a job to go back to in a few weeks. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy some hobby time, getting some of those projects done that perhaps I put off for some time. So why 14th Army? Well, numerous reasons. So the only real World War II gaming I do is using Peter Pig's PBI. I've got Germans, 2 or 3 different German armies, quite a lot of Russians, and I've got Americans, but I've never had a British army for PBI. At one point I was going to do paratroops, a paratroop company, which would have been nice. And then I thought I'd like to do early desert, so Italians and 8th Army. And then we had a jungle day at Entoyment in Poole, playtesting the new PBI rules. And I used 8th Army there, which I borrowed from Martin. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my maternal grandfather, so my mum's dad, was in the RAF regiment in Burma. And I don't know an awful lot about him, to be honest. He died when I was 5 or 6. And all I've got is his Burma Star medal. So quite what the RAF regiment were doing in Burma, I don't know. I've read a little bit about it, but there's not an awful lot of information out there. I think they're basically put on guard duty, guarding the RAF facilities, I think. Those more in the know will probably be banging the gums at my lack of knowledge. And now I'm painting this army. I will endeavour to discover more, but sort of Chindit, Ward Wingate, jungle, that's the Japanese, terrible conditions has always fascinated me. I've just read the James Holland book, discussing the 1944 campaign. Just holding my breath while I do that strap. By James Holland, which was very good, highly recommended. But I could probably do something that's a little bit more granular. It's quite a general history of the 1944 campaign. So yeah, I'll do that. I've also got I built the first M3 Lee or Grant, is it? I'm not much of a tanky person. It's not a great model, and this gun barrel here is a little bit wonky. Now, a little bit fiddly to get put together, so I'm actually watching some of these on eBay at the moment, but I've got 3 of these. These are the Zvezda models. And there's one or two gaps. I'm not particularly precious about that. I'm certainly not a modeler. So I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. Now, using Green Black Speed Paint from the Army Painter, and this is really great for very quickly doing boots. We'll try and keep everything in shot. I've got a slightly different angle for the camera today, so it's all a learning process. Try to do this guy's Thompson while I'm at it. Yeah, so there's an interesting story actually behind the range of figures that Martin produced a long time ago. Can't quite remember when he did these, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's close to 20 years ago he produced this range of 14th Army at the request of numerous members on the old RFCM Yahoo group, if anyone remembers that. So after having had a call to produce the range, famously, not many people bought it, which must have been rather disappointing for Martin, who will have spent a considerable amount of time planning, researching and sculpting the range, and then wargamers being wargamers, not many actually putting their hand in the pocket. And I don't actually recall this, but I imagine there were things like, oh, that's not quite the right thing, or not quite happy with the poses, or the equipment isn't quite right. I think it probably burnt Martin, actually, that did, from producing ranges on request, because half a dozen people saying, please, 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 please produce this range of figures, and there must be 20 packs in there, to then not sell very many. Must have been very disheartening. I know that most Peter Pig figure packs have 3 poses in them, so that's 3 separate sculpts, and that's probably 1 sculpt per day. I seem to remember Martin saying, or thereabouts. So 20 packs times 3, that's 60 days of sculpting, maybe less. Cheers, Les. I can't reply. I can actually see your comment, but I can't reply online, obviously. But it's nice to see that I can get the posts up. I'm retired now, Les. I've been retired 4 days. Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, so technology isn't my strong point, Les, but I hope you're well over in France. I assume you are over there. And yeah, so retired, but convalescing from a knee op on Friday, hence having the freedom to sit and paint during the day at a very odd time and doing a live stream when it's very unlikely to be many people listening. But you'll recognise these figures, Les. These are 14th Army. Yeah, I hope you're well over in France, Les, and the weather's okay and you're doing okay and working as hard as ever as you always have been. I did hear a rumour that you may be coming over to the Weekender. I had a unfortunate health scare. Yeah, better now. Can't do so much. Get tired easily. But hopefully still coming over to the Weekender, Les. And we can share a few stories. Glad to hear on the men, mate. Age is catching up with all of us to a greater or lesser extent, I guess. Hoping to come on the Saturday. That's good. That is good. I think Stuart says we're full already, which is impressive. And there's one or two new faces, which is always nice. Still fondly look back on that Pieces of 8 land raid game that you did prior to the rewrite. I think it was the one set of Peter Pig rules that I'd never actually played, and you very kindly put it on for me and had a great game and seem to remember some lovely scenery and figures. So thanks for that, Les. Thoroughly enjoyed it, as I've enjoyed every game I've played against you, mate, over the years. So once these are done, it will be it certainly has, Les. Yeah, drumming up support at Entoyment. What a great shop that is. It really is a focus point for the local gaming community, and there's an incredible amount of stock in there. I don't know how they manage it really. There's tens of thousands of pounds worth of stock in that shop. And more importantly, that lovely gaming space upstairs, which is a fantastic resource for the local community. And what a great gaming community there is in the south. There on the south coast. It really is. Heartwarming, I think, is a good word to use. I'd like to get down to one of those tabletop sales that they do, because whenever I see pictures, there's always something I look at on there. I think, yeah, that'd be nice. I wonder how much that's going for. There is a PBI day this weekend on the Sunday. Martin's liking the idea of more of Sundays at Entoyment as opposed to Saturdays. Now they do get busy on Saturdays. But I can't drive yet. I've probably got another week of not being able to drive. Yeah, Peter, the guy who runs Entoyment, is really onto something there. Providing a great service to the community. Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's really busy with 40k events and gamers, and consequently it gets really noisy too, so that's a very good reason to avoid the shop on a Sunday. So this is Necrotic Flesh from the Army Painter, and it probably looks a little bit bright on the camera for the equipment and the hat, but once the wash goes on, it does bring it back down, and he's undone his shoes. I always forget something when I'm patch painting like this. Always something there that you think, oh, got to finish the shoes, but no. So there's loads of painting guides online. Absolutely do remember Ralph Ashdown. Les, hope he's well. And Sam, his lad. Don't know if Sam's over in France with Ralph or not. Very nice young man. Played a couple of times, certainly played against Ralph numerous times. Be lovely to see Ralph coming over for the weekend. A little hop, skip and a jump over the channel. Yeah, so lots of painting guides for 14th Army, which I've had a little look at. And of course, there is no correct, because once these uniforms are out on campaign and they got dirty or occasionally washed, I don't suppose they wash that often, but got dirty, got rained on, had the moisture from the jungle, the sweat, the sun, it all ended up with various colours. He lives in the village here and we game some weeks. Sam is a financial director living in Cardiff. Very nice. If he's still gaming. Yeah, so just on the painting side of things, I get less and less fussy about how I paint my figures. I will always say I still want them to look nice and presentable, but trying to find the perfect green or the perfect khaki or the perfect whatever it's a fool's errand for a start, and it's almost impossible, because there's a famous picture of some World War II German uniforms during the course of the war. I've got a fly buzzing around me. There's doors downstairs, is open downstairs. It's coming through there. It's getting dive bombed. There's the famous picture of the German uniforms, and there's everything from a dark grey through to brown to greens and everything mixed in between. And that's dependent on the theatre, the year of the war, conditions that the uniform was worn in. There is really no right or wrong. And if somebody says to you, that's the wrong shade of green, well, just smile nicely and ask them to move along. Because these are toy soldiers that I enjoy painting, I enjoy playing with. I'm really not bothered. Australians for chain of command, there is no perfect colours. We go around the museums here and the colours are all similar. The difference is usually the cut. I think that said before the message faded away. I don't know if you can hear this fly that's dive bombing me, but hopefully it'll wander off shortly. So chain of command layers, that's I've tried chain of command, and despite the best efforts of the likes of Alex on his YouTube channel and watching other reports, I just can't get on with it. Thank you, Les. I don't know what it is. It's just horses for courses. They're obviously a very well liked set of rules, and they've got a huge fan base, as we know the Lardits have. I see Gripping Beast are about to release or Studio Tomahawk, probably more correctly, about to release a set of World War II rules in time for D-Day called V for Victory, or is that Chain of Command, Les, or the V for Victory I'm just talking about? Because, funnily, Guy from Wargaming Soldier and Strategy said 5 for Victory, but I'm fairly sure it's meant to be pronounced V for Victory. I will stand corrected if I'm wrong there, but yeah, so from the Studio Tomahawk studio that did Saga and Muskets and Tomahawks, so they've got a good rule writing pedigree. Be interesting to see if Gripping Beast start producing figures. Maybe not, because they didn't for Muskets and Tomahawks, so that may be fanciful talking. But I know the rules are on pre-order. I heard Dom on Plastic Crack podcast talk about them last night, so he pre-ordered. But they look like they're going to fit into the bolt action chain of command area of an on-table supported platoon. Whereas obviously PBI is a company game. So it's a definite different scale or level of combat being represented. But V for Victory is definitely invading that. It is 5 for Victory. Interesting. I wonder why they've decided to go for 5 for Victory when V for Victory has that nice alliteration to it. That's interesting. Maybe it doesn't translate as well. Cinq pour victoire. What does the 5 refer to? If it doesn't stand, if it's not the first letter of victory, I wonder. Still, I am not a marketing guru, and I am confident that they know what they're doing. But all the same, I imagine the YouTubes will be awash with reviews and attention being paid to that set when they release in time for D-Day, which isn't far. There's some guys from the club heading over to France Thursday, I think. That's what the French players at the club told me the weekend. 5 turns, morale level, who knows? Well, there you go. Yeah, so 5 turns for victory, is it? Goodness me, that fly is really annoying me. It's the only thing about the summer, isn't it? You have the doors open and the flies come in. Yeah, the guys from the club set up a trip to Normandy. The massive bolt action players at the moment. There's a large group of them, probably 7 or 8 people playing bolt action at the moment. They'll do a big club game or little sort of tournament style games. And I was tempted to go. I've been before, but not for a long time. I was tempted to go, but then, sorry, I missed that right before the message faded away. Can I get them back up? I wonder. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Got my laptop in front of me. I'll just put that on. I was tempted to go, but at the time I wasn't planning on retiring. when I was due to retire. I always knew that I could finish, and that 19th of May was my retirement date. And that 19th of May was my retirement date. And that 19th of May was my retirement date. Excuse me. Okay, hopefully that's sorted that. But what that does mean is I can now see the messages. Caroline is off to the British Memorial on D-Day as a standard bearer. Lovely. Very, very nice. Okay, so as you can see, I'm absolutely entirely forgotten these chaps' hats. That's what I mean. I'm prone to miss off entire portions of figures. Yes, I didn't know I was definitely going to finish. What made me make the decision? Because it's a lot. So, as you removable battery cars at Countown today, I'll be on the Memorial Church. Wow, that is history lived there, isn't it? That's brilliant. Never been to Countown. I've done Caen, Aramanch, Sword Beach, Bayeux. Never done Countown. Christmas Day finished me off at work, I'm afraid. So I ended up working when I shouldn't have done. It was horrific. There was lots of things going on. Christmas with my daughter is way more important to me than working. So I thought, what the hell? I was going to stay on for a little bit. It's not financially beneficial in the slightest. But I did still enjoy the job up until Christmas Day, when sort of ruined it for me. Anyway, enough of that. So I missed the boat for the opportunity to go. I am still on the cancellation list, but with my knee at the moment, I doubt, even if somebody backs out at this late hour, I doubt I'm going to be fit enough to go. I certainly wouldn't be able to walk whilst I was over there. So that's that, really. Okay, so the purpose of these videos really is just to show how quickly you can throw paint on figures and get them painted to half decent tabletop standard. I don't like that skin. Just excuse me whilst I find a different skin colour. But excuse me whilst I root around for my other skin tone, which I can't just put my finger on at the moment. Where the hell is it? I'll go with this. For some reason, let's just have a look at that again, because for some reason it sort of separates from the figure. Maybe it needs more of a shake. Also, with now I've retired, Tilly sur Seul for a book fair and a parade of British vehicles per year. On the 9th, but lots of things going on. Yeah. Did I pronounce that right? Suel, is it? Or Suel? I'm learning German at the moment. My French isn't great. So I thought to myself, with retiring and some time on my hands, I might fly out to Historicon, which I've never been to, but I think you have, Les, with Martin. And I know Martin's been over there a few times. Oh, north of the motorway on the 6th. Is that a security thing, Les? Yeah, I thought about going out to Historicon as a last minute thing, but as is always the way with these things, Ava's got a trial again with Crew. She had a really successful season with Crew. I'm confident that they'll keep her on, but as happens with these ETCs or emerging talent centres, they have to retrial every year. So let's put a kibosh on that. That would have been nice. One thing I'm thinking of doing with these, I just thought about it, I just reminded about it, is doing a platoon commander representing Windsor Davis and, oh gosh, what was the little guy who played Lofty? Sang Whispering Grass. Yeah, it'll have to be next year now, Les, I'm afraid, because Ava's trial has come up on the 19th, which is the Friday. And also, we're actually due on holiday down in Dorset with our German friends. We're meeting our German friends who are driving over on the 19th. But Ava and I will be late to the party because she'll be at Crew for the trials. But next year I am definitely going to parties to Historicon. I've always said I'll do it. I'll probably go on my own actually, because I'll try and visit Gettysburg whilst I'm there, and also it would be lovely, and I know they've left an open invite to me to visit the Little Wars TV guys. I'll have to see how that goes, whether it can be arranged or sorted out. But I think with retirement and all this free time, or temporarily anyway, until I start the next job, feeling motivated. Going to see the King Tiger running from Samur. Oh, that must be something to see a King Tiger running. I've seen the Tiger at Bovington But to see a king tiger running, crikey, that must make the earth shake, I would imagine. And it's going. Hopefully I'm not moving the figure off camera too often. Very noisy, yeah, I can imagine. Are you doing any painting at the minute, lads? Are you, other than the Australians, obviously? Anything piggy related? You're doing the editing as usual for PBI, or not so much at the moment? Oh, now that is something I've never done. 7 Years War. But oddly enough, I was looking at it the other day and thinking about using something like the 1 Hour Wargame Rules by Neil Thomas, or even Bob Cordry's portable wargame. The 7 Years War is a bit like Napoleonics, isn't it? You can absolutely disappear down a rabbit hole from which you'll never emerge. It's such a big subject. I'm doing it in 28mm. Are they front rank, Les, or I don't think anybody does them in plastics, do they? I think 7 Years War has reached the plastic stage yet. PBI when marketing, but more basic in the style of fighting. Yes, more basic. I guess you're talking about the linear warfare aspect as opposed to any use of columns or squares, or the use of cavalry and artillery. Not yet, but maybe Wargames Atlantic. Well, yeah, that's probably a good shout, actually. They do just about everything else. The issue is I have with Wargames Atlantic, and I was looking at this because so many people are doing bolt action at the club, it would have been nice just to have a small bolt action army. Is that they only do the one box of figures. So, for instance, they do Panzer Lehr, which is a lovely set of figures, but all the support weapons and extra bits that you need, you don't do. I'm sure kit bashers and modelers out there can get around that, but it just put me off that it isn't a full range. I know they come with all the various support, sorry, not all, but some of the support weapons in there, so the LMGs, etc. But I don't know, I haven't really looked at it, but just put me off that you might not be able to do the whole thing. All right, okay, so that is all the colours put on the first platoon for my 14th Army. I just need to wash it now to make it look like this. Sorry, I was talking about a platoon commander, wasn't I? Yes, so to do a Windsor Davis and Donna Stowell. There you go. Box of early war paint. I've bought that box, Les, because I'm thinking if I do it, I'm going to do this. And I fancy just doing it as a whimsical sort of Dad's Army-ish, paratroops, fifth columnists, Eagle has landed, all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think I might do that. I bought them at Entoyment. Okay, let's pop this on. So this is soft tone from Army Painter. It needs to be on a deeper base view PC to have room for a name on the back. This one is. That's the platoon commander. I love the name on the back. But I'm going to do a special one using, I think he's a mercenary leader from the AK range with a beret, so he can be Windsor Davies. And I'm thinking of taking an 8th Army figure, cutting the head off and putting a pith helmet on it, and cutting away the bare leg part of the figure. So it's just the socks going up to the shorts, so he's a little bit shorter, which is very fitting for the Donestelle character. Bald head, sun helmet, yeah. So, yeah, so I'll probably do that. I know it's probably not historically correct, but never let history get in the way of a good story, I say. So as you can see with this soft tone, that's how it'll dry. 8th Army, yeah, that's right. It really is just a quick glass. I think Martin, for the jungle themed day, painted up a US Marine company in about 3 days. And that's what I'm thinking of doing with this. I burnt myself out on those ancient Germans for Conquerors and Kings, and consequently, instead of painting up really quickly, it took me way longer than it needed to. So I think just by doing a platoon a day, that was a few weeks ago, but he did not show the finished army. Yeah, he took it down to Entoyment, so I've seen it and he used it, but yeah, I'm not sure he posted any pictures or not in the mill or whatever. So yeah, I think by just doing 8 or 10 stands at a time, it's probably the way to go. I might well experiment with the basing on these as well. So I think this is the way to go to get these done. And if I can get these done by the end of the week, I'll put the order in for the Steer Clear of the Ancients. Too much other figures to paint, I know, but I can put a game on for every set of rules Martin does now. So I couldn't not do Ancients. I had got some Ancients actually based for DBA, but because I am that sort of completionist, I've painted an Imperial Roman and German army based purely for Conquerors and Kings, but I can use them with other rules like Hail Caesar or the Neil Thomas Ancient Medieval rules. So it's not like I can't use them for anything else. Yeah, I'm quite liking the speed at which I've been able to knock out these whilst I've been doing a bit of chatting with you, Les. It's been very nice. I'll show you just a couple more things that I've done before I go, but that is them done. They'll have to obviously dry now. Normal people might go in and add highlights, but I haven't done any highlights since about 2007 on my figures, and I'm quite happy with them. So I've sprayed these up today. These are the broadside markers for pieces of 8. I just sprayed them white, and I was going to give them a wash, and I may still do, but Part of me thinks there's no reason to bother. There's a lot of the square bashing figures. It's during the club at Lacoste. It's during. Did make, yes, very good. Mexico will probably be the next game I take down to my club. I've made a start on painting up this 45 position. I can't think what Martin calls it. Or something else. Oh, yes. I took the pirate ship down to the club the other week, which was very much enjoyed. And I found this one spare large warship. So I've made a start on that as well. I think that's all to show for now. Okay. Is his figures? But yes, he does. He is an excellent painter. Those guys know how to put a game on, most definitely. Looks like they've got quite large collections of various periods as well, which is nice. Always nice to have somebody like that in the club. Okay, that's 51 minutes. I'm going to sign off now. Have a tidy up, and then have a wonder what else to do with my day now as a pensioner. These are ad hoc little paint and chats, so I can't say when I'll be back. Might be tomorrow, might be next week, I don't know. But stay safe, enjoy your gaming, and hopefully speak soon. Mate's moved to the Alps. Yes, I haven't got any deck guns for that. I probably have actually in the storage, but I'll have a look. Right, I am going to sign off. Lovely to talk, Les. Stay safe, and hopefully catch up soon.